wanted to actually do a little live stream for everybody, and this is gonna be my first of many Ice and Fire opinions. Um, I'm starting off with Catelyn Stark. This is kind of inspired by my man Tony Teflon. He did a video. He has a series talking about recasting characters from Game of Thrones, and one of them he did was Catelyn Stark, and he talked about how basically the reason why Catelyn receives a lot of the hate that she does now, and pardon me, I'm adjusting my microphone real quick, but he was saying that recently she's got a lot of hate, and he kind of blamed that on me. And you know what? It's all good. That's kind of why I'm wearing the Wolverine hat right now, because I'm about to go straight savage on this one. So, anyway, yeah, man. Uh, Look, for those of you who don't know, who haven't followed me for a very long time, one of the first videos I ever did was a video. Um, I mean, I guess you could. It was like one of the first profile videos I did. If you ever watched my channel before, and you've seen character breakdowns and profiles. When I first started doing them, I didn't really have a script for them or anything. So, I was kind of halfway going through what I personally thought about them, and then the other half of it was more so. I don't know. It was some of my opinion as well, but later on, as I started to make them a little more tight, I decided to go through and just do them as like scripted stuff with just stuff about the actual characters and not interjecting my own opinion. But I left the old Catelyn video up there if you guys want to check it out. Maybe I'll throw the link in the description later. But anyway, um, so I decided to I decided to do this and just talk about how I came not to like the character and why I don't like the character. And basically, you know, um like I started off with the show first, and watching the show I think made me a little more sympathetic to her character, and because you don't get her inner thoughts. Um you don't get her inner thoughts, and not having her exact inner thoughts, you don't know how she thinks about certain people or how she might have tried to manipulate people. And it's just funny how um like I look at how she manipulated Ned into doing certain things, and I'm gonna get into that later. I'm gonna get into that for real, because I think it's important that people realize uh just what kind of person she is and the kind of things she's actually done. You know, oh man. So all right, where do I start? Where do I start? So you get Catelyn, who, if we take her back to the time when she was a girl at Riverrun, you got her interactions with Peter Baelish, right? And Peter Baelish is a main villain in the story, and partly because of Catelyn. And people may not agree with that, but if you think about it, right, he does a lot of the stuff that he's been doing because he he wanted to marry Catelyn. He fought for her honor. Things didn't work out. He almost got himself killed. And then, instead of trying to help nurse him back to health, or get his mind right, she basically lets him get tossed to the wolves. He gets thrown back to his keep. He gets tossed back to his family, and then she doesn't contact him at all. And for whatever reason, he was under the assumption that that he took her virginity, And he's actually been saying that for a little while, and she never goes out and corrects him about it. She doesn't go and tell other people, like, yo, nah, me and Littlefinger never slept together. And that kind of gassed his ego a little bit. And I'm kind of like, well, how do you let that go on and not say anything? You know, which to me is kind of weird. You know, highborn lady wanting to be all honorable and all that, and so I don't get how you don't correct correct this man on that. You know, but anyway, um, all right. Now she said that she understood. You know, this is going to the to Robert's rebellion now. So she said that she understood about Ned having a bastard while he was off at war because she, she and him didn't know each other when they first got married, but she just absolutely could not accept the fact that he came home with the bastard kid and let him stay at the house, this, that, and the third. Okay, I got you. You know, whatever. You can't deal with that. But instead of placing the blame where it belonged, which was on Ned, she decided that she was going to take out all her frustration on John. Which she spent the better part of 14 years, because I think he's 14 by the time he goes to the wall. So he spent the better part of 14 years treating him as fucked up as she possibly could, never calling him by his name, calling him bastard the entire time. And then when he's on his way to the wall and he's saying goodbye to Bran, pardon me one sec, thought it was getting dry, but when he's saying goodbye to Bran, she, treats him all kinds of fucked up. And then when he's leaving, the only time she ever calls him by his name is to tell him that she wished it was him that fell out of a window and almost died. Because, at that time, she didn't know that Jaime pushed Bran out the window. But I'm like, yo, what kind of horrible person does that? You know, um, I mean, like, what kind of horrible person tells someone, like, yo, I wish it was you lying here, possibly about to die. Like, yo, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I don't understand. I understand you want to like, you feel like John was a threat to your kids, right? To the line of succession and all that, right? Because she brings up the whole thing with the Blackfires and Aegon the Fifth. But come on, first off, she knows Ned wasn't. I'm sorry, not even Aegon the Fifth. I mean Aegon the Fourth, because I know somebody is going to watch this later and like, yeah, this was wrong, Aegon. But whatever. Aegon the Fourth. Aegon the Fourth legitimized all his bastards, and you got the that Targaryen civil war with Daemon Blackfire and Bittersteel try to take over the realm. Ned is not Aegon the Fourth. Robb and John were raised as brothers. John knows that he's not getting Winterfell. And it's just kind of funny to me because, like, when Robb is there, um, man, trying to figure out, like, all right, what are we going to do about this line of succession? Because Arya is missing and presumed dead. Um, you got Sansa, who I don't remember she was married to I don't remember she was married to Tyrion already. She might have been, but all right. So she's married to Tyrion already. um, then it's like, all right, she's a Lannister. If I die, that means the castle, the Winterfell automatically goes to the Lannisters. So he wanted to circumvent that. So Catelyn goes and like when Rob says, you know what, nah, all right, I'm gonna make Jon my heir. Catelyn is like, yo, you got a cousin in the Vale, and this person and that person, and just throwing out all kinds of other shit, so that Jon wouldn't have any kind of claim whatsoever. But I'm gonna get off the Jon topic because like I could be here all day. I'm sorry, I don't like people who treat kids badly. Especially because no kid is asked to be born, no child is asked to be born. So yeah, I'm not cool with that shit. Shout out to everyone in the chat room who's watching live now. Yeah, let's see, we got Septa, Sinus Sapphires, yeah, Marilyn, Bentley, AJ, what up? AJ Abbott, Spoppin, Frank Stanford, I see spots. If you're in the chat room, holla at me. Anyway, though, oh yeah, let me know what you guys think about the layout. I'm trying to make this an every week thing. So, let's just get back to the whole thing with Bran and his fall, right? So, as far as everyone knows, Bran just fell out the window, and I understand as a parent, as a mother, you want to be there for your child. You don't know whether or not he's gonna live or die, um, and you want to be there every waking moment that you possibly can. But Bran is not your only child. You got Rickon, who at this time was 3 years old and is trying to make sense of this world around him. And most people don't remember being like super young children like that, right? So I get that maybe she couldn't really see it from his perspective, but at the same point, like, yo, Brandon's not your only kid. You got Rob there. Rob is older. He's got to do what he's got to do. He's the man of the house now. Let him run the business. Let him take care of the business. But you got another little boy there who also needs you. She totally ignored him. Like, yo, Rickon don't exist. Fuck him. Which is like, again, I'm like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh man. And yeah, so far everybody in the chat room seems to be agreeing with me. Lord Mez, what's good? Ion Trone. Yo, Ion Trone is a Twitter legend right there. Jasmine B, how you doing? Um, yo, but okay, so you got the way that she treated Rickon. She basically treated Rickon like he didn't exist whatsoever. But all right, so you get the incident with the cat's paw um that tried to kill Bran. Okay, she stops that. She takes the blade to King's Landing. Um, and when she gets there, Littlefinger is the first person to meet her, and he spins the whole story about how he lost the knife to Tyrion, and she basically doesn't even question the fact that he said that he lost that knife with Tyrion betting against Jaime. Never questions it whatsoever. And I'm like, yo, I don't understand how you don't think to yourself, like, what do you mean he bet against Jaime? Like, why in the world would Tyrion, who's a Lannister, bet against Jaime Lannister, who at the time is supposedly one of the best knights in the entire Seven Kingdoms? out of thousands of knights. Remember, he's one of the Kingsguard, one of the seven, the Kingsguard, which means he's supposed to be one of the top knights. King McKay, what's popping? Um, oh man, shout out to King McKay. King McKay is awesome with the videos, man. You know what? Me and you need to have a conference on editing because I need to learn some tricks from you, brother. But so she doesn't question that. Okay, let's say it's the heat of the moment. She's trying to put things together. She's not firmly understanding. You know, and Ned gives her a set of instructions because, like, look, we've come to a very dangerous place. If if this is true, and you're saying that the Lannisters tried to kill Bran, then there's a bunch of stuff that we need to do in order to make sure that things are prepared because this is gonna be war. Straight up and down, this is gonna be war. Um. Oh, shout out to White Privilege, my man David Adams, and also Renee popping up in the chat room. Um. And it's not the white privilege you're thinking about. All right, so be easy, be easy. Um. So it was just crazy to think like, okay, so Ned gives her a set of instructions, and he's like, look, we this is what we got to do to make ready for the defense of the North. She basically throws all that shit out the window the moment she sees Tyrion. The moment that she's in that tavern or whatever, or keep or whatever the hell you may have it, uh she throws that directly out the window. And what's up to Seto Kaiba? I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm trying to make sure to get the names right here. Um, but she throws that out the window to try to flex. She's like, all right, oh, okay, cool. I got a bunch of my father's bannermen around. She's up there, scoping everything out. Oh, we got this one here and this one. And then she stands up and is like, you're from House Went. You're from this one and that one. Arrest this man. He tried to kill my son. So she basically started the War of the Five Kings. And yeah, really, if you trace the genesis of it, it was Littlefinger who set all it up. But she fell right into the trap. This ain't even a thirst trap. This is just straight up, like, where's Admiral Akbar when you need him to call this one out? So, oh, what's up, Ariel Doe? I haven't seen you in a long time. What is going on? Um, yeah. So she falls into the trap with that one, and it was just absolutely ridiculous how. First off, she takes him to the Vale for trial by combat. I mean, and it's not that she took him for a trial by combat. She took him for a trial. He opts for a trial by combat, winds up winning, and so she has to let him go. Genius move. Absolutely genius move. And then on top of that, it's just that she didn't go through any of the plans that Ned laid out. None of them. None of them whatsoever. So, oh, what's going on? Indie Sports Car Podcast. I think this is my man from Way Off Topic Radio. We need to link up. Shout out to Way Off Topic Radio. Check them out on Podbean Network. It's a podcast. I was on there once. It was epic because I was on there. But anyway, so she doesn't set up for the defense of the North whatsoever. And then by the time you know, Theon does his betrayal, and it's funny because someone just showed up with a Theon avatar. I don't even, you know what? Fuck it. It's a live stream. Yeah, we got the yeah. This is wild. Dude's name is the Schlong of Ice and Fire. Wow. But he's got a Theon avatar. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is hilarious. Um. So yeah, she doesn't set up for anything. So that leaves the North vulnerable to attack from the Ironborn. Um. And then finally, she finally she sets up this whole thing with the Frey marriage to Rob, which that right there is like, first off, House Frey are the bannermen to the Tullys. There shouldn't have been no need for negotiation. You are my goddamn bannermen, and I don't like all of this. Oh, you need to negotiate to get through the goddamn twins. I'm not even. You know what? Fuck it. We're not even. Mm-mm. No. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning though. Her manipulation of Ned. So, and I want you people to go back and read this for yourself and analyze it, because when she's thinking like about Ned, like, I think they just got finished having sex or whatever, and she has these real kind of cold thoughts about Ned. And then when she finally gets the box, the box from Liza or whatever, with the telescope and or the looking glass or whatever the hell it was, and the note. um yo it was crazy. Like, she's up there thinking to herself, okay, like, oh, cool, this is a way for me to kind of gain one up on Ned. And and like, immediately, as soon as Ned kind of gives in, because he didn't want to go to King's Landing. Like, in the show, it's different. He didn't want to go to King's Landing. In the book, he was like, yo, if this is as serious as you say it is, then we really need to tighten up things here. Um, but her and Maester Lewin, were kind of adamant, like, oh, you got to protect the king. You got to protect the king. He's like, brother, you got to do this for him. So finally, when Ned gives in, immediately, she's like, yo, oh yeah, and John can't stay here. John gotta go. Oh my god, that was, I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And shout out to the real Craster, you know. Uh yes, I am the king of tinfoil, you know, but it is what it is. Um so I mean, like, if you think about the domino effect of her manipulating Ned to take the position as hand of the king, and think about just her doing that and where that wound up getting the rest of her family. Like, yo, come on, man. That is absolutely ridiculous. That I don't understand how anybody likes her as a character. She is, like, if you want to talk about just no, because again, well, the way that she treated Rickon, I can't even say, oh, she, such a great mother. And then if you think about, like, how Sansa, right? Sansa took a lot after her, and how she thought about John was really based on her mother's way of viewing the world. And that's kind of like, if I'm, I'm thinking to myself now, if Arya kind of was really close to John because he looked more like a Stark than the rest of the kids did. Yo, did Catelyn possibly treat Arya fucked up too? Like, that's a question that needs to be asked. That is a question that needs to be asked. Um, and yo, Lord Mez, thank you, because I was about to go where you just said. So Lord Mez brought up Lady Stoneheart, right? And I'm like, yo, look, man. To me, this is how you can show, how you could tell she was a horrible human being in her regular life, because after the Red Wedding, she gets killed, tossed in the whatever fork of the trident. Her body gets fished out. It's been 3 days, but Beric Dondarrion decides he's gonna give her the kiss of life. He's gonna bring her back. And what did she come back as? A murder zombie. She comes back as a vengeance-filled murder zombie that's out there just to kill everything. Because remember, if you look at the Brotherhood without banners before Lady Stoneheart, and then the Brotherhood with banners without Lady Stoneheart, yo, remember, half of them was like, yo, I'm done. I can't even do it. It was like, yo, this is not what we signed up for. This has nothing to do with protecting the people. This has nothing to do with anything in terms of just how we want to portray ourselves. You're just out here trying to kill people. And it was like, nah, can't do it, can't do it. And like now, as far as we have for the books where we're at, we have Lady Stoneheart that just has the reputation, and the Brotherhood without banners to now have the reputation of basically being brigands to everybody. It's not even just that the High Lords or whoever's on the side of the Lannisters are looking at them as though they're outlaws. Everybody looks at them as outlaws and rapers and murderers now, after they're under the leadership of Lady Stoneheart. And shout out to AU Pack Mule, my man. um so yeah, I really I really don't know what else to say when it comes to that, man. But it's just funny how you get people who try to justify the way that she acted in the story. And look, I understand that's the way that George wrote the character, right? But just because that's the way that George wrote the character doesn't mean that I have to agree with the character and say that she's great. You know, if I knew anybody who was like that in real life, I probably would not want to be friends with them in any capacity whatsoever. Um, and just to get into some theories a little bit when it comes to her, you know, I've heard the theory, and don't I don't remember exactly where. I watched a lot of Game of Thrones videos from a lot of different people, so I don't remember exactly where I heard this one, but I've heard people say that she is going to, like, her ultimate redemption, I guess, is going to be her giving the kiss of life to Jon Snow. It's a theory out there. I don't believe it. That would be. I mean, that would be shocking. It would be a twist, but I don't see that one happening. Um, other theory that I heard from the Order of the Green Hand, and I think I might have heard it from maybe one other YouTuber, but Order of the Green Hand is one I heard it from most recently. Is that uh actually Ned Stark was already married to a Shara Dane, and so all of Catelyn's obsessing over the line of succession is ironic because actually uh her kids are actually the real bastards of Winterfell. So that would be so ironic. It would be so poetic. I would love it to death. I would make like 80 trillion videos just praising that one move alone. I would live stream for the full 8 hours that it allows you to just to just to just to gloat about that one. You know. Um Oh man. But you know what? Hold on. Let me see, because I'm still trying to get this whole thing set up correctly. So I'm trying to make sure that I do this thing right. I am actually gonna take some questions from the chat, and I actually want to bring them up real quick. So go ahead, if you are live in the chat room right now, put your questions in there, and I will take some for the next few minutes. I know that you got the NBA Finals starting at 9 o'clock, but also Rorist and Smokescreen are doing a live Q&A, and look, I try not to overlap if I can. So go ahead, put your questions in, and I'm gonna try to make sure that I get this particular thing right. We want to switch out scenes for 1 second here. Okay, so hopefully you guys should be seeing the chat right now. Um. Okay. All right. So the question, first question we got here from Renee was Rob Brandon's son. So, all right, this is a kind of a tricky question here, right? It is possible. Um, yeah, it is possible, right? But I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I do believe that George said that Rob is older than John. Uh, and it's funny though because if Rob is Brandon's son, he's still a bastard because Rob and Catelyn never got married. Um, so I honestly don't know. It could be, yeah, it could be, but interesting question. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Next one from my man AU Pack. You mother. Oh my god. Okay, John, I got you. What is your favorite cat scene? If we're talking about the books, my favorite cat scene, the red wedding where she dies. If we're talking about the show, my favorite cat scene is really more of a Tyrion scene because it's the trial by combat where he basically clowns the shit out of her and Lysa. So yeah, that's my favorite cat scenes. Oh man. Okay. So next one from Marilyn Bentley. Do you think Maester Lewin was up to something when he told Ned to speak to Benjen about John taking the black? Let's see. John talked to Benjen. Um. Yeah, John talked to Benjen about that, but it was Maester Lewin that it was Maester Lewin that told Ned about it, I believe. He told Ned about Benjen coming to him and saying, "Hey, John wants to join the Night's Watch. You should let him go." So I mean, that was you know, I still like. I don't know if we're gonna find out really what Maester Lewin's whole part in a lot of this was. It would be interesting to see, but um, yeah, we're gonna. I don't know. I don't know when or if we're gonna find out if Maester Lewin was part of some grand conspiracy, or even if it was part of some conspiracy just with Catelyn. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see here. Uh. We got any more questions? You know, because if not, I think it's been almost 40 minutes. But yeah, well, while I'm waiting though, anybody else, like what do you guys think about the streaming setup here? This is kind of what I've been doing on my time off, trying to you know trying to make things a little better. Look, I know it's been a minute since I've done a live stream, and B, since I've done any videos, period. And you know what? My apologies for that. It's it's just that, like, for one, trying to do the videos has been a little bit of a task lately. Like, I'm working with this OBS software, and if you guys have watched any of the Hypes Watch live streams, um, like, there were a few glitches in the first couple because apparently my computer wasn't um oh, Ion, you were you were crazy. Uh yeah, there was I guess my computer isn't powerful enough. It's funny because I got like the most powerful MacBook I could find, and apparently it's still not powerful enough. So I'm gonna have to. I don't know. Either I'm not gonna be hosting the Hype Swatch chats, or who knows. Let's see. Let's see. Any sports car podcast. Okay. Let's see here. Wish for three. So I mean, I guess you're asking if it was Melisandre's, or if it was Davos. If it was Davos' confidence that brought John back. Um. Hmm. Honestly speaking, I mean, like, because George has not explained where magic has actually come from in this story, or like what the source of magic is, it's hard to know why and how things work. We just know that they do work, and until he actually gives a concrete answer as to like what the source of magic is, it'll be hard to know uh why certain miracles have happened. So I wish I could give you a concrete answer on that one, but it's just one thing that they really don't. He really doesn't go into, so it's just hard to kind of. It's hard to give a definitive answer. I mean, it could have been. It look. It could be something as simple as, if you believe in magic, then magic works, and the source of magic is everyone, or everything, or just the power of belief. And if that's the case, it could have been Davos wanting to believe that John could be brought back, that he was able to be brought back in the show. That's all I got for that one. All right, so let's see what other question. So Ion Throne, you were ridiculous. You know that, right? Top 300 favorite chapters. The top 300 favorite chapters are known as a Song of Ice and Fire. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Next from oh man, you know what? I'm just gonna have to call you Plexi because I'm not trying to screw this one up. But all right, where do you see Cat's storyline going? Predictions, hopes. Now that she is Lady Stoneheart, Brienne, and Jamie. All right, so look, she can't survive the story as the undead zombie woman for the remainder of the entire story, just to roam the earth as the as undead zombie woman. I mean, I see her dying again. Now, with the whole Brienne and Jamie kind of thing, I think that it's possible that Brienne gives up her life, that she sacrifices herself for Jamie as kind of a to make sure that Jamie remains a good person, but also B to show Catelyn how much faith she has in Jamie, that Jamie will keep his word to what Catelyn said. You know, or the word that he gave to Catelyn. Um, let's see. And as far as I don't know that she helps at all with the war against the White Walkers. It's possible, but I don't see that happening. Like I said, she was a bad person in life, and she's just still doing bad shit in death. So, all right. Let's see here. Another one from Maryland. Okay, so do you think Rob's will in the books will ever come to play in the show? Do you think they'll come back to it in the books? So, yeah, I mean, look, that's basically Chekhov's gun in the books. You don't have something like that. You don't introduce something that's that big, that important, and then never bring it up again. So no, that's got to come back. Who is it? Is it Galbert Glover and Daisy Mormont that have that? I forget which two characters have the will, but yeah, that's gonna come back up. It has to. And maybe that's where we'll get the introduction to Howland Reed as well. So that has to happen. But in the show, they never mentioned it in the show at all. And I think at this point, since John has already been made king in the North, we don't need it for the show. He's already king. What is a will from Rob going to do that John's Bannermen haven't already done for him? But I do think that the show making John king could be like the Easter egg that, yes, he did make John his heir, and that the rest of the Bannermen will find out, and that's what's going to get the North to rally behind John. Um, okay, so let's see another question from Plexi here. Now that John's resurrected, do you see John and Cat interacting again? Um, no, no, no. Let's see here. Let's see. Tinkerbell theory. If the Tinkerbell theory is legit, then the world would be better without Targaryens. I'm not sure what the Tinkerbell theory is. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what the Tinkerbell theory is, but yeah, I don't know. I have to look into that one. I have to look into that one. Let's see here. Thank you to Michelle Populous. You know, yeah, hashtag fuck that Tully bitch. You can find all the hashtags in the in the description below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. At I Don Willie. Yeah, that's what it is. And shout out to Carl Tanner. Sorry, Carl Fulkin Tanner, the Fulkin legend of Gin Alley. Let's see. Yeah, Maryland, I'm trying to figure out what the Jingle Bell theory is myself. I don't know. Was Plexi? Is that like a Reddit theory or something? Because I've never heard of that one. You know, I'm loving everybody hanging out in the chat right now. This is awesome. I wish we could have had more people in here. Damn it! I got so many people who follow me on Twitter. Where the hell are you, folks? Now they probably getting ready for the Cavs game, or they're getting ready to watch Rorist and Smokescreen do their live Q&A. Yeah, so we got any more questions? Because if not, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. Go watch the Cavs. Oh yeah, what does everyone think about Wolverine hat here? It's funny because I got this in one of those kind of one of those kind of boxes or whatever. Like you get all the different stuff. Um, yeah. So, and the funny thing about it is, I waited too long to order it. I was kind of playing the kind of double dutch game where you see people jump, but then when they take too long to jump, they totally get wrapped up in the ropes and wind up falling over. So I had it like this came with a T-shirt. Apparently, it said large, right? This must have been like large in kids or something like that, because it totally doesn't fit me. So I'm gonna have to give it to one of my little cousins. All right, let's see here. Oh, thank you very much, Marilyn. Look, hopefully I'm gonna get to go to Ice and Fire Con next year, and I'll get to hang out with some of you folks if you happen to show up there. All right. I see spots. What's next on my agenda? So, look, I'm gonna try to do this series every Thursday at 8 o'clock. It'll be a live stream. We can come hang out. I'll talk about a different character next time around. If you want, you guys can make suggestions in the comments for characters that you'd like to see me discuss. But then also, I got my other channel, Don Entertainment, which I will leave the link in the description in a few. I'm going to be finally doing my Alien Covenant review. A lot of people bash that movie. I'm not going to say rightfully so, but the movie did have problems. And then after that, I'm going to do another video about can the Alien franchise will be saved. And then I'm trying to finish this new brand theory I got. I haven't heard anybody out there do a brand theory like this at all. So if you see anybody else, I'm gonna try to put it out by Sunday. I'm trying to wrap up the final details, because I think this is probably one of the tightest theories out there. But I want to make sure that is precise as possible. Yeah, but damn, let's see here. All right, hold on. They got another one from Seto here. Got couple more questions. 8:59 now. I wanna get off of here on time. So I'm gonna take these last two questions, and then I'm out. So from Seto we got what are your thoughts on the Bookman's Raider, him being Arthur Dane? Um it is it is an interesting theory, but I think that Mance Raider has too much backstory and too many people to corroborate that backstory for him to be Arthur Dane. And I don't think that he could have. For one, you got to think about one thing, right? He would have had to been glamored when he went to Winterfell, because if Ned Stark fought him at the Tower of Joy, how do you not recognize Arthur Dayne? How does Jamie Lannister not recognize Arthur Dayne when they were in the Kingsguard together? Like, even if you want to say, on some real arrogant shit and thinking dudes random, like, nah, man, you don't forget faces like that. So no, I don't think he's Arthur Dayne. Um, it's a little tinfoil for me. Let's see here. There was one last question. Okay, and this one's from Maryland. Do you think Littlefinger really loved Cat? If so, why did he betray her in numerous ways? I personally don't think he loved her. I think he was only into her name. I think there was a time where he did love Catelyn. Um, I think there was a time that he did love Catelyn, and I think that after what happened with Brandon, and then the way that she treated him afterward, I think the way that she treated him afterward, it was like, yes, he still had feelings for her, because a lot of times you don't really lose your infatuations with people that you're really into. But at the same point, I think that there was a lot of resentment there, and that's what got him to betray her, because it's like, I really loved you. I really loved you. And you went and slept with the dude, or married the dude who almost killed me. And when I almost got killed, you treated me like nothing. So yeah, um, it is what it is. But yeah, that's the last question I'm taking for tonight. I'm already 2 minutes over. Look, you guys join me next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another one of these. If you weren't here live, sorry you missed the live, but as you can see, the chat was lit. Um, Thank you to everybody who showed up in the chat tonight. Thank you to everybody who will be watching this later. Leave your suggestions for other characters that you'd like to see me talk about, because I got a lot to say. And yeah, you guys already know the damn deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie saying Vala Dohiris.